One of the newest sponsors here on the show, and I'm excited about this one because I'm participating in it with you. I had I think it was beef arancini today. One of my favorites of the dishes that they have pre-prepared for you. It helps keep you on track. Today was the perfect example of that. Let me explain. I had rented a big piece of equipment to do the trench digging I had to do this weekend. I had to get that back. Had to get it turned in. I was on a deadline, had to get into the studio. Just a lot going on here in the middle of the day. And so I didn't have a whole lot of time for lunch. On a normal day, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wind up in a drive-through. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, we enjoy our drive-throughs, but there's almost nothing in life that you're gonna eat out of a paper bag that's gonna be healthy. Period. I don't care what you choose on the menu. Drive-throughs are the danger, and especially for me, because it's the convenience of it. I have traded that for Project Lean Nation because I'm getting serious now. At my age, what I had to admit was my old ways of dieting and exercising just weren't working anymore. Even though I'd kind of scaled it down. I mean, I don't lift like I used to, but none of that stuff was really working. And you got to shake things up when you get like that. Some of y'all are there. So maybe you're trying the GLP ones. That's fine. My problem with those is for me, you do what you want for you. They're just not permanent. If you come off of it, you will be in the same place. You got to change some habits. Project Lean Nation is there not just to help you with their programs, but to convert you into another way of thinking about your food with tracking. They weighed me in last week. It's more of a weigh in. They scan your whole body. So now I know where I stand. I know what my goals are. They provide these flash frozen, incredibly delicious meals, and you pick them up in batches. So you get your program of it kind of works like this. You need to know what kind of calories you need to go for, what kind of meals you're choosing, and you're going to love some. You're going to not love some as much. Everybody's different, but these things are prepared and thought through and take all the thinking out of it. They're good. If you're on the run, you didn't mess up. Now you know you did well. And I can already feel the difference. I've only been consistently doing about 3 or 4 days. We sampled some of these on the road. We took some with us to try them just for flavor. I'm telling you, I've never done a program like this as many times as people have come at me on the show. But when I found out Forrest Walden was involved, I know him through reputation and through a lot of friends of being in the fitness industry for years. I knew he was on to the best possible product. So let me steer you to Homewood. This is a chain, sort of a franchise thing. So there may be others all throughout the listening area. I'm not sure where they are, but the one in Homewood is the one I want you to visit. Tell Forrest you appreciate him being on the show. Let him get you on a plan that can actually really it's not just about losing weight, it's about being healthy. And to be honest with you, some people are losing weight so quickly with some of the shots and stuff, they're not healthy. You got to work out, you got to have a calorie burn goal, you got to have a plan to keep your lifestyle up. I want to live a long time. I got 5 grandkids now. I don't want to check out on them before I see them go off to college and get married. If I'm going to be around, I got to start making good decisions now. So I'm doing Project Lean Nation again today. Yesterday it was like the Bang Bang Burger, and it was delicious. Today was I'm going for the beef dishes lately. It was beef arancini, and I could have eaten 3 of them. It was so good, but one was enough, and I got on my way, and I'll probably have one for dinner tonight, so I don't blow it this evening. Nighttime can be uh, fatal for some people. I mean, man, there's a bag of Doritos in the pantry. Don't do it. Go to Project Lean Nation and get hooked up on their program. Tell me how you like it too. Tell me what your favorites are. Y'all can send me that stuff online. PLN, Project Lean Nation, downtown Homewood. If I had to describe the downtown stretch of Homewood, it's not up there at the top of the hill where the funeral home is. It's down lower, down toward Vulcan. If you're going toward where Little Donkey and all that area is on that end of the main stretch, y'all can look for them and find them. By the way, they do have rear parking. A lot of people don't even know that, but you can park behind their building, go right in the back door, and not have to worry about when you pick up your meals every week. Project Lean Nation, check them out online too. All right, before I get too deep into anything, AG's been holding a long time, and out of fairness to him, let's get some phone calls in here, and we'll see what we can do with that here in the last hour. AG, what is up?
Well, I was just going to add a couple of things to the topics you had today.
Yeah.
On the AI, I've got an acquaintance, bunch of fraternity brothers eat lunch once a month, and he shared something the other day that was I thought was interesting. He drives a Tesla self-driving truck,
Mm-hmm.
and he said they now offer an AI uh, version of the self-driving software that if you hit a uh, bump in the road, it remembers that and will drive around it next time.
Oh, it's the thing's learning every time it's out on the road. It actually gets better
Yes,
and
sir.
better at your normal routes and all that stuff. I'm fascinated with it. I was resistant to all this, out of ignorance when it first came out. But the more I read about it, the more now I don't need a new car right now. But I would, AJ, I would drive a Cybertruck if I could swing it right now.
Hmm.
That thing could drive me to work every day. I'd be fine with that.
He also mentioned that SpaceX is in the process of building data centers in space.
Yeah, and some people think that's the future of where these things will wind up. Is that data will be transmitted between here and the satellites and those operations, which might solve a lot of the problems we're worried about right now. But and I'm hearing from more and more people who find the self-driving technology life-changing. Just read a piece last week, and somebody else sent me a submission today that the 75-year-old lady popped out of one at a store recently, and she said it gave her independence back because the thing can assist in driving or drive for folks that are of an age where we probably shouldn't be driving, and that's amazing because it's extends people's freedom and lifestyle a little bit as well.
Uh, Two things on the data center. He said the advantage in space is that it's so cold up there, you don't need the water to cool the
That's
systems.
interesting. Yep, that makes sense.
And also you can power them with solar energy because the solar energy in space is so much powerful than it is on Earth.
Yeah, because I guess you wouldn't be dealing with the atmosphere.
The atmosphere,
Yeah,
yes.
isn't that
And
fascinating?
switching subjects a little bit on the personal data or information protection. There've been two series. One of them, Person of Interest, which is I think it's a takeoff, not a takeoff, but a series based on what the movie you were talking about, where they predict things that are going to happen and try to keep them from happening.
Yeah, yep.
It's a series, and then there's a current one now called Unbelievable. I don't know whether you've seen that or not, but they indicate, or it's not true, but they are with every suspect, they're accessing their credit card information, their telephone information, and where they've been over the last several days, and all of their bank information.
This stuff's
Isn't
just
that neat?
mind-boggling. I'll probably be thinking about it at 2 in the morning when I try to, because we all want to, we don't want to miss out on opportunity, but we all are a little defensive right now because we wonder how it's going to affect our lives and our all of us, our employment, our jobs, our way of life. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse? I'm dubious. I'm just really dubious right now.
And one last thing, I sure did enjoy all of your broadcasts from your trip.
Well, thank you, sir. It was a lot of work toward the end. The second half of that trip was a lot of grind, but it was worth it to do something a little different. And loved all the people we met. And y'all, it'll be maybe a few years before I do it again, but we'll do it again one day.
Well, I enjoyed it when I got
I
to
appreciate
listen.
that.
It was great.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, AG.
Have a great day.
All right, there's a kind gentleman. We need more kind gentlemen on the show. AG with a lot of thoughts on some of this stuff. Let me, all right, I'm going to throw some different stuff at you. We can keep talking about the tech and the future and all that because I don't know that we can talk enough about it. But this popped up, and I don't even know what to make of it. So I heard Trump today. He did a long news conference today, and I was listening to it on the way in. I think Andrew carried a lot of it as well, but I couldn't just sit and listen to it. I was still gathering news for the show. And then I heard him going off on the reflecting pool in Washington. He must have talked about it for 20 minutes, and I couldn't understand why is that back up in the news. Well, And by now y'all know Trump's idea and what they implemented for the reflecting pool, which he maintains had been leaking since 1922 when they built it. It's one of the biggest pools in the world, just overall pools. And they built it out of stone, and stone's not very waterproof. And immediately it started leaking. And for years, it had been neglected. There'd been some maintenance. The costs were exorbitant. The simple idea the Trump team came along with that helped it go so quickly is to drain it and put a liner in it, like a pool liner. That'll help it make it waterproof. It'll help with the coloring. And then here come the vandals, these leftist a-holes who went in there with a knife and cut up the liner and then started dumping stuff in there to produce algae. This is how stupid these people. Remember when we've been talking about Teslas? Remember when they were firebombing Teslas right after Trump got elected the second time? These idiots were attacking people for driving in the road in their own cars. This is how mental they are. So they vandalized this public property. Well, I haven't kept up with the case since then. But apparently, some of the vandals got light sentences, and Trump's pissed about it, and he's blaming Jeanine Pirro, who by now y'all know is a U.S. attorney based in the D.C. area. She's big to do a news conference. I mean, I like Judge Jeanine. She's a little loud for me sometimes. She gets real loud. She shouts all the time. She's a very passionate woman. But Trump flat out called her out in the middle of the Oval Office today, saying she choked in the case about the vandals and the reflecting pool in Washington. Take a listen to what he said.
The judge was extremely unfriendly to Jeanine, and frankly, I think she choked because the judge was really vicious. Instead of going after the people that did it, the judge went after her and went after her department. And I guess she choked. I don't know what the hell happened.
Are you reconsidering her role?
I don't know what. You don't. You're fake news. Don't ever talk again. You're fake news. One of the worst.
He's
in the
good
business.
at vetting out these reporters. That was
you.
pretty much the crux of what he had to say. So that created some headlines that Jeanine Pirro had fallen into disfavor with. And it's hard to understand what Trump's saying there because he's pointing out the unfairness of the judge, which you have to deal with in the D.C. circuit. But I guess he's saying that she didn't stand up to the judge and she allowed the judge to intimidate her out of the case.
From what I saw, some of the reports was that they basically said it was due to negligence from the people who installed the liners and stuff like that, and it wasn't actually vandalism.
So yeah, they tried to shift it over to the actual install, which is
right.
Bull squeeze because we got video of them going in there cutting it. It was total vandalism. But she didn't put the case together well enough, I guess, to survive that challenge. So Trump's pissed at her for that. And in the meantime, they've continued to polish up statues. They've re-gilded a couple of statues to their original condition. That's right. As soon as Trump's gone, they'll be back to spray painting MFR on everything and shooting each other in the streets of D.C. again. Y'all better visit now. It won't last. I just promise you, it won't last. Michelson Laser Vision bringing you the show tonight. Dr. Mark, Dr. Jennifer, the whole crew ready to help you see better. I am a prophet here to bring the good news about LASIK. 7 years ago, I did it. And can you imagine how much the technology is improved in 7 years? And it certainly has. And you can imagine the practice that brought the first laser to the state of Alabama is going to have the latest technology. They put the Contura system online not too long ago, and it's been a game changer for some people. People that got turned down because you had scar tissue from previous incidents, maybe at other places, or night vision issues, or other things that even some astigmatism cases where you weren't a good LASIK candidate. Now the Contour system can fix that. It's kind of like this technology we're talking about. The machine itself can, in granular detail, scan your cornea and know precisely which things to correct. And then once it corrects it, you're good. It's fascinating. All I know is I got an older generation of LASIK, and it was when they examined me and told me how easy it was going to be, I just did it after years of hesitation and 30-plus years of wearing glasses and contacts, man. I was held hostage by it and didn't even realize I'd gotten used to it and talked myself into thinking it was okay. If you're in glasses or contacts, don't live that way. I mean, just at least check it out. You might not be a candidate. I'm just warning you. Some of you will go down there and you just can't do it for whatever reason. But if you can, It really does change everything when you get up every day and or wake up in the middle of the night and you can see with your own eyes. It's michelsonlaservision.com. Downtown UAB Highlands, michelsonlaservision.com. Y'all go see him, get that appointment. If you got anybody you want to love on with some flowers, make it Blakely's Bouquets. They really are just the nicest people, the most talented folks. You can look on their website and see what I mean. And the website, I pitch it all the time just because it's so easy. For me, not being a flower person, to really just, I'm kind of dumb. Just look at pictures, see what I think looks good, look at the prices, see what I think looks good. And then put the message in, and boom, you can pay them right there, and they get it delivered. I love the text message to let you know the flowers made it. That's always a little nervous time when you're waiting to have flowers delivered. So if it's just because, which to me are the best flowers ever, just out of the blue flowers, or special occasions, mandatory flowers. Let's be real, mandatory flowers are a thing. Valentine's Day, birthdays, all that stuff. It's Blakely's Bouquets. Y'all get to know them, and you'll have a go-to. Anytime the mood hits, or maybe even somebody's going through some tough stuff in life and you want to love on them a little bit that way, you got Blakely's and they'll get it done for you. If you want to work specifically with them at the shop on some nice design, they're ready for that too. It's Blakely'sBouquets.com, Blakely'sBouquets.com. Okay, let's go to the Nancy Guthrie case, which, if you remember, transfixed us. I can't even remember when this happened. It was a little over a year ago, wasn't it? And it was in the news every day, and there was just constantly updates. And suddenly it seems to be kind of back, and this is because the Guthrie family has released some of the letters that were originally sent early in this case. And now that sheriff is back under fire for duplicity. This is a CBS News story about it. It says, when investigators, I'm just going to read verbatim from this piece. It says, when investigators in the Arizona disappearance of Nancy Guthrie's mother of Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie, released 2 ransom notes Friday, one of the messages directly contradicted what the Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos told CBS News a day before. He said, I have nothing to indicate she's dead. I don't have a body. I don't have a burial site. I don't have any note. But he did have a note, according to CBS, that they released the 2 notes for the first time, and that was in there. One of the notes, I'm just paraphrasing now, said that she was dead shortly after she was abducted, and they kept, taunting the family with these notes. And so now they've got the sheriff for some reason. This isn't the first time he's gotten called on the carpet by not shooting straight with the public, the media, being uncooperative with the FBI, being obsessed with his own media image. Sounds a little Fauci-like. I mean, where he's caught up in the publicity of being the sheriff at the center of this national case, and maybe having some lapses in judgment. Again, the Fauci thing. The only thing is, CBS will hold this sheriff accountable for giving them bad information. They won't hold Fauci the same. I'm just saying, the duplicity's right there. Y'all, let's talk about Birmingham Broker. They're downtown Birmingham. That's Craig and Keith. If you got a car, truck, or SUV for sale, take it to them. It's gone. They do all the work. They find you a buyer. They do all the haggling. They just get it done for you, so you don't have to sweat it. You get a check. Life is good. Go find a new ride somewhere else if you want to. Now, they'll help you track down a car too, being brokers to help you transact whatever deal. But it's nice to have people to do this stuff that really understand what they're doing, and they can get you more money. They know what the car's worth, what the market will bear. Y'all, it's Birmingham Broker, downtown Birmingham, 4th Avenue South. Get your car down there. Hey, they were looking for inventory a few days ago. Things are moving right now. Good time to sell. BehamBroker.com. BehamBroker.com. Back here in just a minute. 5:35 Leland Live. Usually Thomas checks in with us this time. AJ, we got some phone difficulties.
Yeah, for some reason I can't call out.
You think anybody can call in?
Yeah, people can call in, but yeah.
You never know. These phones get ghosts in them sometimes. Anyway, I can handle it. Thomas and his team standing by right now to help you with your loan dreams or questions. It's kind of both. Some of you found some house, you're in love with it, you need to move. They're ready to go. They'll get you on the right track. Others, you're kind of putting a toe in the water. You want to do something. You got some equity. You got some other debt. You want to consolidate, cash out. First home purchasers. People come at it from all different angles. And some folks just aren't ready to get sucked into the machine that is the lending industry nowadays. You get online and start putting your data in, just trying to search for basic information. They're just going to scrape your data and start pounding you with nonstop calls and competitive loan products. Easiest thing in the world to keep that trouble down is just pick up the phone or reach out to savewithstockton.com. Get their phone number, call them, have a conversation with a real human being about your general goals. They'll get you on a track, whether you're ready to pull credit and start the process or just keep exploring. They don't mind that. They're there to hold your hand and guide you through it from the first phone call all the way to the close. And they're good like that. With the myriad of programs that are out there, it'd be impossible to completely keep up with. It is savewithstockton.com. Their phone number is right there, savewithstockton.com. Well, of the many things I have here on my list, some smaller stuff that's popped up this afternoon, we got this story, which I think is fascinating. AJ, were you ever on MySpace?
Yes.
In the back of my mind, I thought maybe I was there for a minute. I can't remember. And you thought it was gone. Because Facebook just came in and took over, and then they came all the other platforms, and there's so many now, I don't even know what all's out there. And all I know is the kids will always be on one the adults don't know about. I'm just letting you know. So now Facebook's kind of gotten to where it seems it's kind of grandma's social media, and it's where most of the following for the show's just been developed over the years. Then there's Twitter, which got changed, of course, when Elon bought it. Now it's a free place. And I'll spend a lot of time there just news gathering because you can actually find out stuff there that is not being censored. There's a lot of the crazy stuff there too, but you got to use your judgment. So y'all know all this stuff about the different platforms. But MySpace says they want to make a comeback. They're going to bring it back, and they're going to do it as a challenge to the rest of these platforms that work on algorithms and the endless feed scrolling where they reinforce what you're already looking at, try to keep your eyes on the screen. They're just going to quit doing that and give consumers a better experience at their social media. And I think they're onto something. If there was a platform where you could connect with people you actually know, and maybe that's not the best way to make money at it, but it'd be limited to people you really know, and then the latest stuff that they post, not forced content in your face, both with the ads and the actual content. Most of the content that you're seeing on these platforms is just sent to you. It's not even really stuff you want to look at, and then they can get it completely wrong as well. But let me just read you here from this particular piece on it. It says they still have the current owners, somebody owns MySpace, that they're preparing another comeback attempt. They want a platform that rejects endless scrolling and algorithm-driven feeds in favor of a different experience. The planned relaunch follows the release of the new MySpace documentary where owners Tim and Chris Vanderhook admit earlier revival efforts failed after years of mismanagement under the previous owners. Anyway, the frustration with today's social media giant grows as it grows. MySpace is betting on nostalgia and less manipulation. That could become a winning formula. So I don't know how their business model works. I don't know if, how they've got to be able to profit. Maybe it's from just more traditional ad space. But as far as changing the experience to something real and more organic and more up to date, that I think that there's a, shall I say, space for that. It says here, just when you thought your top 8 drama was safely buried in the internet graveyard, MySpace is making a comeback. And then it's just a repetition of other stuff about the account. So good. I hope they were able to pull it off. Am I going to put another platform up? I got pissed off during the COVID censorship. And at one point, I deleted the Leland Live Facebook page and sort of put to sleep my personal page. I have to work 2 Facebook pages because of limits. And then I eventually brought those back. Audience couldn't get in touch with us. Then there was X. AJ, I was like, I don't know, 20,000 followers on X at one point, and I killed it. And you couldn't bring it back. Facebook's kept it dormant. You could go through a process to reactivate the page. But when I did that with Facebook, then Musk bought it, and I thought, okay, well, I'll pull my X page back up. Boom, it was dead. It was graveyard dead, gone. So I don't even know how many people follow on there now. I don't get too caught up in that stuff, and I'm not super active with posting just because it's the time consumption and the distraction that is when you post. You got to go a lot of times and monitor the post. Because in my line of work, you got jerk-offs that'll get on there and say a bunch of stupid stuff. Just had to deal with that recently with one of our station posts on there. Just people are just dumb and hear what they want to hear. And it wears me out. So generally, it's best ignored. But I will say, if you reach out through one of those platforms to the show directly or to me, I try to at least read all those. I know it sounds kind of haughty and arrogant or whatever. I don't care. It's just what it is. Sometimes we'll get so many during the course of a show, I can't physically sit and respond to every single one, but I'll glance through all of them and take a look at things you send in. And I do appreciate the interaction. Would you get back on MySpace if they put it back up, or is it?
Well, MySpace really never really like had gone away. It just it's been like sold and been trying to be reconfigured throughout the years.
But wasn't it before? I think it was before Facebook.
Yeah, it was before Facebook. Tom, he was like your first friend. He was the first person. Every time you log in, he was like the first person you became friends with. But then he sold it off, and you know he's on Instagram now. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But MySpace, they tried to launch. I think like if I remember, it was like mid 2000s, something like that. They try to like make it more of like a music type site where people can put their music upon.
Yeah, that's right.
And it just didn't really bowl too well. But I'm interested to see. I think a lot of folks that are our age who grew up in the beginning part of
Did you just put me in the same age category as you?
Yes, because in technology, we were about the same age.
That's true. We were coming along. Right. I didn't get on Facebook or any social media till right about the time we put this program on because I kind of had to.
Yeah.
Everybody had to have a presence, and I still mostly annoyed by it.
Yeah. But the whole setup with MySpace was kind of like that. And then, of course, Facebook came along, and it just kind of dominated because MySpace just couldn't really capture the allure. Like, it kind of got people interested, but then it just the whole Facebook thing, it just made things a little bit more streamlined and more simpler in a sense. And then you can do a little bit more things with Facebook than you could.
I mean, just
with
to
MySpace.
simplify it alone, just simplifying all the stuff and not making it so busy and exhausting. Remember there was MeWe? You remember MeWe?
Mm-hmm.
I set up a MeWe account because it was supposed to be the alternative to Facebook because it functioned like Facebook. That never took off. This again was in the censorship era.
Yeah.
Where people were just looking for somewhere to go. Then the Trump people put up Truth Social. I did create an account there. I think I was active on it for a little bit. Then I got burnt out on it. I still get their emails, but I don't fool. If y'all are trying to follow me on Truth, I haven't logged into Truth Social in 2 years. Even though, they're making an attempt to make it work, make it feasible. I think that's a conscious choice in my life not to have any extra social media platforms. I'm so exhausted with the whole thing. But it's become a tool that in this business, you got to have preparation tools. Or some preparation H, or both. You got to be able to keep up with things. And so during the show, I will scroll back and forth between all these platforms, seeing what's new, what's up, who's trying to reach us. But that's about it. I don't know if MySpace gave it a shot and enough of my friends, actual friends, people I know, family and whatnot, jumped over there. If it was a clean site with all that manipulation, yeah, I'd be interested in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that it just whatever design that they try to do, they try to streamline it. Because I think now what makes Facebook so powerful is that they own other social media sites now. So if you post
Yeah.
on one, it'll post to all your other social media platforms that is attached to
Mm.
that company. And now you ain't got to worry about trying to think about this password and that password and oh gosh, I can't remember what I did. Okay, what do I do here, and then what features are on this one do I like? Because I think really what it really boils down to is user adaptability. If you are someone who likes TikTok, for example, regardless of what you may think or whatever, if you're somebody who loves watching videos and kind of feeling like that, then TikTok will be right up your alley. Facebook, you can do that, but it's really more or less about just kind of updating your life, and Twitter is whatever Twitter is, and then all these other social media. So you just really have to kind of pick your poison in a sense to see what really works. And in this heavily almost saturated social media lifestyle, I don't know how MySpace is really going to fit in. I think the name MySpace may give it a little bit more of a lure because it was one of the first.
It's been around and people know it. It's not a brand new brand that they're trying to just suddenly.
Right. It's not like Blue Sky, whatever that was. They just kind of blew out.
That's just a bunch of liberals over there crying. That's just whining on each other, and it's the same thing. It's a closed bubble, just like truth can be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I mean, there are other platforms I hear about all the time. It's just like no, too much. You know what we used to call data centers back in the day?
What was that?
Libraries.
Ah, yes. Yes, good old library.
Books. Hey, let's talk about Tapco and their technology. Cars, too. We've talked about it a few times here on the show where these self-driving cars are becoming more precise and safer and all these things. They're just rolling computers, even more so. And you got to keep up with that in the service business. It's just not all mechanical anymore. And it's been that way for a long time. But it's taken away the ability for a lot of us to even diagnose whatever that thing is that's starting to happen. There's so many ghosts that could be in a sensor somewhere or some reading that doesn't make any sense. Tapco can fix all of these. This is a cutting-edge service center, professionally run, super nice guy, Michael, and his family. These guys even have a courtesy vehicle nowadays to give you a ride back to work. They're going to keep your car for the day. It's got to be within reason. They're downtown Birmingham on 6th Avenue South. But this is, and I've still, sometime this week, I'm going to come in early and drop the truck off. I need an oil change and some other stuff needs attention. They're going to handle my routine stuff. And then when I know when something big comes up, that crazy light comes on, this noise starts, some vibration, something ain't right, you can just take it to Tapco. You're in their system. You know who they are. You built some trust, and they'll be straight with you. Michael is upfront about their pricing, the way they do diagnostic stuff. They handle whole fleets for big companies. And, of course, even the state of Alabama with Aaliyah, they bring all those. Man, Aaliyah puts their foot on the gas and drives those cars hard, and they trust Tapco to come fix them. Tapco stands for Total Automotive Performance Company. We just call them Tapco because we're cool like that. They're downtown Birmingham. See the difference. Tell them you also want 10% off. Drop my name, and they'll do that for you too. TapcoBeham.com if you want to get an appointment. TapcoBeham.com. Y'all, Douglas Cooling and Heating ready to help you with any of your situations with this humidity and this heat. Sometimes it'll feel like your system's just going out and you get that sinking feeling. You're like, man, this is going to be expensive. But it doesn't have to be. If you're dealing with Douglas, dude, they can fix it and they will up front. They'd rather fix it, earn your trust, be there for the long haul because they know you're going to use them for service work. And then when it does need installing, you're going to know who to trust to do that. That's why they've been around since the early 1970s as a family-owned business, just doing things right, keeping their reputation, shooting straight with their customers, publishing their prices, even when you've got options, because sometimes it's fix this or do that. They'll put it in writing and put it right in front of you and give you plenty of time to think it over, no pressure. And their techs and the people they send out on those trucks are just pros. They know what they're doing. They can knock it out for your heating and air. They've got a plumbing division. They do some electrical work too. They'll be doing some additional capacity this year on my home. And I've got a unit that I think's just underperforming. And that was how I started this whole thing. It could just need to be cleaned up or something minor is going wrong. So let's get that checked out as soon as possible. We've still got at least 8 to 10 weeks of warm weather before we finally change over to fall. So we're kind of right in the middle of it, aren't we? Douglas Cooling and Heating. Y'all reach out to them. High ratings on all the Google ratings and all that. Customers love them. I've been with them for 17 years. That ought to tell you something. CallDouglas.com, C-A-L-L, CallDouglas.com. All right, I'm going to double back and look at a couple more things and try to get us out of here. Back to the shooter in Twin Falls, Idaho. We only talked about that. I talked about that at the beginning of the show. But that's such a poignant reminder of, and I just want to reemphasize this. Yes, this is good for the 2A community to show that somebody properly trained can help save lives. It's not really known right now whether the hero shooter in this incident that stopped the what would have been a mass shooter, this Jordan Salinas, whether he actually killed the initial shooter or the initial shooter killed himself. A little confusion over that at this hour, but him drawing the fire and shooting back and squaring up on him like that, no doubt everybody around knows that saved what could have been a much worse situation. Still a lot to learn about the original shooter. And again, because that video, that dramatic video of him confronting him with that 5.7 suppressed handgun was something else. And in addition to when we learn how much he was a training advocate and had posted many times, train like your life depends on it because it might, and his did, so did others. He was the absolute right dude in the moment. It just speaks to the rest of us. Many of you are gun owners. I get it. The worst thing in the world that can happen for you or to you is complacency. You get used to carrying it around, you sort of almost forget about it. Or you haven't gone to the range in a long time and your skills aren't sharp. You don't have time to hesitate. You've got to be clear-headed in a moment like that. It could happen to any of us at any time. If it can happen in Twin Falls, Idaho, it can happen anywhere. I'm telling you, that's the calmest little town I've ever been in, quietest little place. And, of course, a bunch of gun-toting folks out in Idaho that took care of business. So I just beseech you, train on your weapons, your actual weapons. Go to the ranges. Get some training on decision-making, too. It's most of gun use is up here. I'm pointing to my head if you can see us on the YouTube video, and I really want to take that point to reemphasize that. That guy was good in that moment because he was highly trained and ready for that moment. Most people are not. Let's talk about Crocker Moving Services real quick. This is the company that can help you get it moved, whether it's a whole lot of stuff or a few things, just getting across town or across the country. Or just for me, the last times I've used them were just some big heavy stuff just for a couple of hours. And they have never gone over their estimate. They're good like that. CrockerMovingServices.com. Y'all get Eric and his team on it, whether you want to move to Idaho, ironically, or whether you just got to get the college kid out of the house so you can move some things around. It is, of course, a wonderful company run by Eric Crocker and his whole team. CrockerMovingServices.com. Man, what a show. We kind of drifted around for a long time. It hasn't been a stringent news day. Some days it's fun to do that. Real quick, good chances of rain back in the forecast for tomorrow. Some of y'all getting a little spotty rain tonight. but nothing major this week, which is good. We need to dry out a little bit. I'm all about that. Also, one more time for our friends at Alabama Gold Refinery, gold, silver, platinum, buy, sell, or trade. They do all of it. And Steve's just a good guy to get to know. It's nice to have a fair place to do this kind of stuff because sometimes you need to sell some things and move to some cash for whatever reason. Sometimes you got a little extra cash. You don't want it sitting there just being devalued by the Fed and the government. So you want to put it in something more permanent. They're there for all of it. Safe location, central location in downtown Homewood across from the big multi-story Regions Bank building there on 29th. Go see Steve and do some business as we head toward the holidays at alabamagoldrefinery.com. alabamagoldrefinery.com. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 2. Stay tuned for Breaking Bread.
Goodbye, AJ.